ebusia boba ebusia afe na NPP mu nsem no boba ebusia enye nim se enra na eyo omo akansie no ekoso eba wie no na eye Bawumia article na say enya asem keto ebusia fo de every NPP camp ba allegedly no erechi and say Bawumia to drop Napo as his running mate ahead of the 2028 election. Ebusa say why na all go for ebusa enya in Bryan a champion so contested be leadership no by wanya ebusa sise no nkra eberechi and say Bryan a champion will be the favorite senka on Bawumia ebe lead 2028 election at say ebasui ebusa yanko te yen seminar se ebe so over subscribe no like it message me dey am afro so and say to me akabi and do not forget to click on the notification bell so ebusa for yanko te yen semi
own story may lean towards not changing. He was by Nana Danko Akufo-Addo right from
then
the onset.
Napo deserves a second
2012,
chance.
then 2016.
Napo deserves a second chance.
I mean, stuck with him. In fact, especially the first outing. I mean, there were many who raised concerns about the fact that they didn't think he was a politician enough. They didn't think he was helping market. He was bringing enough numbers as he ought to. But you saw what happened in 2016.
So I'll tell you what.
But you have to keep in mind that Dr. Bawumia was not controversial as a candidate.
True.
Now, Napo, on the other hand, the dynamics are different. Even in the the dying embers of today, right? He made comments and then it was misconstrued or maybe misinterpreted or interpreted the way it was meant to be.
Should I remind you of one of them? I mean, you were talking about cabinet. You said that he's never seen
that was even just a few days ago.
As Dr. Bawumia in cabinet, and there are those who were pointing out that Nana Danko Akufo-Addo was in the cabinet as well. There were other individuals,
so
key ministers who were all in the same
that
cabinet.
Napo may be a liability to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
I guess what I am saying is that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, after he is announced the winner of this contest, has a lot of thinking to do. That's
true.
it.
But Dr. Bryan Champo is an interesting shout.
It is indeed. And Kofi Bento earlier today made the point that he is quite sure that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will change his team going into 2028. And I want to take him by his word because, look, he hears stuff that we don't hear. But let's look at Dr. Bryan Champo, the constituencies I was talking about, because I recall that Andy Apiakobe, who is in his team, indicated a couple of weeks ago that we should watch out for Dr. Bryan Champo. He's going to pull up a surprise. And this is what we are seeing reflected. If you look at Sege, for instance, he won Sege, he won Adaklu, he won Keta, Anglon, and obviously Abetifi. But if you look at the inroads that he made, in the Volta region especially, winning constituencies that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia won in 2023, and also constituencies, for instance, he had a good showing in Nkoko. In Nkoko, even though Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia won with just a difference of 56 votes, he had very, very high votes there. And you look at Asina Kroso-Manso as well. He won Asina Kroso-Manso. This was a constituency that in 2023, if you look, it was just head-to-head between Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and Kennedy Ohia Japan. He comes in strongly there, and he wins that constituency. He flips it easily to him. And that tells you clearly that this is a man who has a constituency of his own within the political party. Question is, they have crossed the hurdle of electing the flag bearer with their very own. What's going to happen after today? Getting the candidate to appeal to the generality of the Ghanaian people. That is the question, Kemini, and I'm sure will be on the minds of many.
And that's why we'll take this conversation in a bit. I don't know, you're done with the numbers. We could start having a big chat here right now. Quickly introduce my panel members here. Very far right is political scientist and head of Shippers Authority, Professor Ransford Jampo. Today I didn't forget the professor. I did well.
Oh, but
like Musa Dankwa, you have to give me my flowers. Next to Professor Jampo is Professor Alidu Seidu, one of the newest MPs we have in Parliament. He's member of Parliament for Tamale Central, also a political scientist. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You've been here, but this is a welcome to the special edition.
The last session.
I know. Next to him is Dr. Jonathan Asante-Otre, who is also a political scientist.
Political analyst.
Political analyst.
And then the executive director of the African Institute.
You have to speak up so that the parts I didn't get right, we hear you.
Political analyst and the executive director of the African Institute of Strategic Studies.
Thank you for that. And the man of the moment. The way I raise my voice, you should understand why.
Nations poster.
Number one poster. Nations poster, not Nations Prophet.
No, Nations poster.
Musa Dankwa, Executive Director of Global Info Analytics. Musa, you must feel vindicated, but at this time you are used to it.
No, for me, it's just normal thing.
It is.
I mean, I don't think we're doing anything exceptional. It just simply means that for decades, this country has been manipulated and misled by lack of data. And we've relied on some prophecies and some, unscientific means to help the discourse. But I think we've opened the space up. We've made it more transparent.
Right.
There's no longer bedroom analysis, and you have to show workings, provide reasons why you believe it will go this way. And I think today we are proving beyond reasonable doubt that data doesn't lie.
Indeed. I want us to look at the data and how close it resembles the pre-poll predictions that you made. But a little later, perhaps Blay will go back there and then take us through some of those pre-poll predictions that you have made. But I'll move on to my other guest, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Otre. One of the very important questions I had asked Musa earlier in pre-conversations to now is whoever wins tonight, and clearly we have Dr. Bawumia in the lead, what does that tell us about where the party's mind is in its efforts to regroup, in its efforts to prepare for the 2028 elections? I'll start off with you, Doc.
Well, I think that in the minds of the delegate, they have the view that most likely Dr. Bawumia appears more experienced, and then he's already a marketed candidate. And so if they look at the rest of the candidate, most probably is ahead of the rest. But I'm of the view that Dr. Bawumia may not appear to be the best of the candidate, but the alternative is also a problem for the delegate, and that's the more reason why they went for him. Obviously, they may be praying that the NDC's economy will become a little worse than what they inherited. If that is not the case, then maybe they still look at Dr. Bawumia as someone who could be a unifier. And if you look at the fact that if Mr. Kennedy or Dr. Bryan is the one to come second, well, they are equally looking at situations where people could find some cobwebs, right, in their wardrobes, and that is something that they may not be ready for. The issue of Kennedy Japan and his unpredictability, I think that is something that the delegate were a bit worried, because we are looking at someone who can galvanize the grassroots, right? Yep. And then just within a twinkling of an eye, it will destroy the very foundation that he will have laid. And I think that is something that they were not ready for. In the case of Dr. Bawumia, there is that level of predictability. He's a smooth talker. He's experienced, whether for good or for bad reason. He's been there, close to the presidency, and he touted the fact that, well, he's been more experienced than the rest. He's forgotten that when Mr. Mahama was telling him that you guys have not been anywhere close to the presidency, you don't know how tough and difficult that thing is. Oh, they took him to the market and washed him. But today you use the same thing against your compeers. So strategy, my question is, what is the strategy of the party in terms of the decision of the delegate?
You mean post the election today?
Yes.
You would want to know what the strategy is for the party.
Yes.
I'm going to come and then would discuss that as well. But I'll move on to Professor Ali Seidu, because again, the NDC, on the other hand, for some reason, you were rooting for, and by you I mean the party. The party was rooting for Kennedy Ohene Japan, but you get DMB instead. Does that share?
Abusia or family nano and Guswa Ocean, the best also on subscribe, no like it. No say Jimmy Day, I'm also answer to me, Akabi, and do not forget to click on the notification button and any update we ever drop piano. Also answer able to me, Akabi. Abusia for young in some course, ever offer me.
Take your roots.
I haven't seen an official document from the NDC.
Oh, but we saw it.
We saw it. Actually routing for Canada, Japan.
Surely I'm not the only one who got that impression. That
there's no official communication from the NDC.
The NDC communication seemed as though Ken Ohene Japan was a preferred candidate to go against whoever you elect in the future as a presidential candidate.
There's no formal or official communication from the side of the NDC.
I haven't alluded to an official communication, but I'm saying that your communication in the media indicates so.
You see what is happening
now you
in
are
the
talking about scientific data. It's not about gossip and hearsay. So that's why Musa Dankwa is here. It's everything is scientific.
So you see what is happening in the NPP now. Every well-meaning Ghanaian must have an interest. You see, it is we have chosen democracy as a path to elect leaders. And the political parties have become the foundation for which we can chart this path. And the NPP is not just any party, it's the largest opposition party in the country now. So any internal democratic processes that happens within the NPP should be of interest to all Ghanaians. They are not just electing a flag bearer for election's sake. He's somebody who will contest and win elections and become a president. So we need to have an interest in whosoever has the potential to become a president. And the NDC is the biggest threat to the NPP in every election. So definitely NDC will have an interest in the one who eventually becomes what? The flag bearer of the NPP. So definitely even the PNC and the CPP and all other people will have an interest.
Right.
So definitely individuals within the NDC may be voting for one particular candidate or the other for whatever reasons. And I think that even though Dr. Bawumia is one of the widely marketed candidates in the party, he has contested over 5 elections, as running mate, two different elections as running mate. He has become a vice president for 2 electoral cycles, and then the flag bearer for the last election. Definitely, he might have absorbed a lot of the negatives and the mud that has been thrown at him.
Right.
But I think it makes the work of the NDC very easy if he eventually emerges the winner, because a lot of things has been said about him, and the primary penalty thing in politics is very simple. Is the amount of debt that is thrown to a candidate by his own people in party primary. If the crocodile comes from the water and tells you that it's a fish, and said the crocodile has one eye, who are you to dispute? So if Canada, Japan, and all these people have raised these very critical issues about him, his competence, his economic management style, and all those things, and the 1-year NDC government has made a mockery of the 8 years record of him as the manager of the economic team, then it is a very easy thing. If it would have been Canada, Japan, maybe this is the time we're going to discover new debt and try to do investigation, see what should we throw at him.
So but this is easier for the NDC?
I think so. I think they've made the work of the NDC very easy.
I see. I wonder if that is a good thing or a bad thing. Prof. Jampo.
Oh, it is a good thing because the reset agenda must be sustained. What I've seen within a period of 1 year, if you're able to continue this for 5 years or for 10 years, Ghana would be more than how others, the other countries, how the other countries have fared in terms of development within 1 year. Like he said, if 1 year could cancel out a period of 8 years waste of time, and we want to sustain this, I mean, who doesn't want development? What is the essence of governance? Is to better the lot of people, is to improve in the physical quality of life of people. And so if this is going on, just within 1 year, we can see this level of development. Then for me, I'm looking for a candidate who would not necessarily weaken his party, but who would help the next election so that the reset agenda will be deepened. But you are asking what the figures or what the results show in terms of the party's mindset. And I'm telling you that I am unable to tell the party's mindset now, because this was what happened during the last election. Around that period, President Akufo-Addo had his full, firm clause and grip over the party. And the party people themselves had said they didn't like that. Okay, so the point is, if they had undergone their own internal elections, crowd to the conduct of this primary, then we would have been able to decipher the true mindset of the party. But now the very things that the very people who superintended on the in the last election that brought Dr. Bawumia, there are the same people who did this, and they've not been able to do. And I'm sure that it was a move. It was deliberate by the people, by the current crop of leaders leading the party, to do this kind of upside down arrangement where they decided that they want to now begin the construction of a building by starting with the roof before the foundation. If they had done the foundation first, I can tell you that the party's mindset would have been properly articulated. But be that as it may, they've elected Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and I'm happy with what Kennedy Japan has, come to do, because the point is that whether you like it or not, I said it earlier, that Ghana is a multi-party democracy, and so regardless of how competent and effective the ruling party is, we should also be interested in how the main opposition party is faring, so that they can also play a role as a watchdog with a view to keeping the ruling party on its toes, so that there isn't complacency and then we don't relapse. And so it is good that Kennedy Japan has come out to openly concede defeat. And I heard Alfred saying that...
we'll come to that. We'll look critically at some of the issues he mentioned in that concession.
Abusia ahana bredi be say the jumadi nyina be be we so own subscribe no like no share jumadi am afro so and say to me akabi, and do not forget to click on the notification bell so na be any update we be drop bia no wo so and say to me akabi so for kan hu say so best political news unya be bia say POG media so and abenya no so always bia no bra POG media never pick up or best political news na bia bo hu de eko and de eba e wo Ghana amanyusem abusa for makram.